Hey guys, it's Shonnytee and welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new, hi and thank you for clicking on this video. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone that subscribed to my channel so far, liked my previous video, commented and showed so much love on that video. I love you guys, thank you very much. If you haven't seen my last video, it's called Types of Friends. I'll leave a description for that below. Before I get into this video, make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and also click the little bell so you can be notified when new videos are posted. So guys, today's story time is going to be about when I stayed in uni accommodation while I was studying it away in a different city at uni. Now, when you do go to an accommodation, or you're thinking of going to one when you're going to uni, you need to think of many things to see if you're going to be comfortable while you're staying there, because that's going to be your home for at least, you know, a couple of months. So you need to make sure that it's somewhere that you're going to be comfortable, because that's where you're going to spend the majority of your time. The things that I would think about is, are you quite chilled or are you loud? Do you like sharing things, or are you quite OCD? Personally, I'm quite OCD, so I'm not trying to be sharing things, but I wish I'd known that, but I'll get to that in the story. Also, if you're not like sharing things, if you don't like sharing things and you're more into your own space, there's options. So you can either have like a studio where it's like a kitchen and a bathroom. If you're quite OCD, you wouldn't want to be sharing a bathroom because there are nasty people. So you'd want to be having your own bathroom and the kitchen, but that's even worse. So if you want a kitchen, you'd either want your own studio, you have the kitchen and the bathroom, so you don't have to worry about any of that. Only thing is, it's more pricey, of course, because if you're having it on your own and you're the only person in there, then of course it's going to be more expensive for you, so you have to bear that in mind. Most people tend to go for share bathrooms, share kitchen. I think it's a lot cheaper. In my case, I had the option of having, it's called a classic suite, which meant that I had my own bathroom, because I'm sorry, I ain't sharing a bathroom with nobody. You must be mad. But I did share the kitchen. Now, I'm quite funny about stuff like that, about sharing a kitchen, because I've heard situations where people's food have been nicked from other people that they share with. So I was kind of wary about that. But as long as I had people that were respectful and that respected that it wasn't just their area and that it was a shared communal area, then I was going to be okay. But I'm not going to lie, I was very nervous about sharing a kitchen, just because of how I am and just how I know how I think. Not everyone thinks, so that is definitely something to bear in mind. So this could also be tips for anyone that's thinking about moving into uni accommodation, and to really assess if it's something you want to do, or if you do, look at your options and look at them carefully and see what your accommodation you're applying for offers, and don't leave it to the last minute. If you're going to be studying in September, you need to try and get it done at least, I want to say end of July, August. I know sometimes you can't help it because your results don't come in until August, but as soon as them results come in and you know what's going to be, you need to be thinking about applying. Also, save. So if as soon as it comes to, you need to put a deposit down for a uni accommodation or even a flat, or you know, you're sharing with a friend, make sure that you've got that money there. So all you have to do is put the deposit down, and then there's not any time you're wasting, because then when it gets nearer and near to that time of you having to move, get a place for uni, you end up with probably the worst accommodation that's available left, because all the good ones or the middle ones have been took. So for people that know me in my personal life, know that I'm currently in my last year of uni, and that in my first year of uni, that's where I moved away to a different city, which I won't mention. But I moved away to a different city, um, to where to study at uni, was where I'm studying now. Um, it was my first time that I'd ever moved away from home for that length of time. Not like it was I was staying at a family member's, or I was staying away from family for quite a while, and it was with strangers that I'd never met. That is another thing as well. Um, Obviously, if you stay with people and you've never met them, that's also something to be wary of. Sometimes it can work out great. I've heard people that have moved in with people and it's worked out fine and they got on great. Other times I've heard that it's not worked out so good. I'll tell you about my room. So the room I had, it was a double bed, and I had my own bathroom. But I did have to share my kitchen. In the kitchen it was a, let's call it a kitchenette, because it was small. You could probably fit two people. I want to say two people because, or maybe even three, but it wasn't like you could fit loads of people in that space at once. To say there were five of us living in the flat, you couldn't all be in there at once, no chance. But we had, if you walked into the kitchen, it was, let's just say you have a living room and you split it in half. That's what our kitchen was like. So you walked in, half of it was kitchen and half of it was lounge area. So the lounge area would be like the sofa, the TV, and then obviously you had the kitchen area. So like I mentioned before, I had to share this flat with five other people. I won't be mentioning any names in this video, just for the purpose of this video. I'll be using code names. So I'm going to explain the layout of the kitchen. The kitchen? Try again. I'm going to explain the layout of my entire flat for you guys, just so you can have a rough idea of how things were, laid out. So on my floor, there were, as soon as you come out of the lifts, because we had lifts, because there were many floors. So as soon as you walked out of the lift, you had a door over there, you had one in front of you, and then you had one at the right. We were at the right. So once you walk through them doors, there are doors all the way down the side. So you've got the first door, room number 1. That was Sarah's room. That's the name I'm going to use for her, Sarah. Room number 2 was mine. Room number 3 was Olivia's. That's the other name. Room number 4 was Becky's. You'll understand why her name's Becky. And room number 5 was Emma's. Room number 4 was, what's the girl's name? Room number 4 was Becky's. And then there was like a gap because we had the walkway. So Becky's room was adjacent to Emma's room. Yeah. And then adjacent to Emma's room was the kitchen. So that's why there was a hallway, because the hallway cut between Emma's and Becky's room. So it just kind of, you go like that and then you go around the corner and the kitchen's there. So moving days arrived and it is now the beginning of September. It's like the second week in September, and I've asked my mum to come and help me because I had to move quite a lot of stuff down because, bear in mind I'm going to be there for a while. So I got my mum to help me, take some care. I check in, I get my room key, all of that. We're back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, because even though we were in the car park directly below, because it's like connected, I was like, bear in mind there were like 20 something floors in this accommodation, and I think I was on like I'm not going to say my actual floor, but I'll just say, for example, I was on like floor 18. So, you know, I was quite high. So imagine having to get in. There was two lifts as well. So imagine having to get in the lift, out the lift, in the lift, out the lift. And you have to wait for it to come up, especially if someone's got in it, it's gone all the way down. You got to wait for it to come up, then go back down, and then you got to get the stuff, then come back up. So yeah, it was a lot. So finally, we got moved in and everything. My mum helped me move everything in my room eventually, and then I think we just had to nip down for a couple more things. And as we were about to nip down, um, remember I mentioned room girl number one, who was next door to me because I'm room number two. Her name was, I'm going to give Sarah. So Sarah pops out, her head out. This is the first time I meet Sarah. Turns out she arrived actually a couple of hours earlier than I did. And she introduced herself to me, my mom, and my little brother was there helping. So she introduced herself to us all, and I'm like, hiya, since I've moved into room two. She's like, hi. We introduced ourselves for a bit. But then, bear in mind, we were still busy trying to help me move in and whatever. So then we said, oh, okay, bye. Yeah, I'll see you in a bit. Still got a bit more moving in to do. So then we went, did whatever, got back up, and all of that. And then finally, when I was moved in, because at this point, uni hasn't started yet. Uni doesn't start until like the end of September, because students always start later than schools. So we have like an extra 2 or 3 weeks before uni starts. Problem is like 6 weeks holidays. So my mum left and whatever and went back home, and then I was on my own. I had a lot of things to do anyway. So I was unpacking all my stuff. I didn't even get it all done because there was a lot to do, and I had to do cleaning. My mum did help me do a lot of that, but you know, I didn't expect to do everything. So I'm in my room, whatever. Fast forward a bit, and it gets to me having to go into the kitchen because at this point I needed to clean everything. Because I'm sorry, when I move into somewhere, I'm cleaning my section. Because there was only Sarah in and then me, it meant that we got first dibs on the cupboards. Whatever was there, we got to pick first. So I went in, and Sarah had already claimed her cupboard. And then I went in, and I had to look around and kind of see which one I would be feeling. So I picked mine, but I had to take my cleaning supplies in because I'm sorry. You know, I'm cleaning my section, like I mentioned, because I'm sorry, I don't do that. I'm cleaning it, and I want to make sure that it's disinfected. So, as I go in there to do that, to put my food in my cupboard, I noticed that Sarah has left a note on the kitchen counter. So, I walk over to, it's like a breakfast bar, and we have 2 stools. So I go over there and I pick up the note and I read it, and it's Sarah that said, hi, it's Sarah. I just wanted to introduce myself to you properly. The girl from room 1, which was sweet, even though she's kind of forgot that it's literally me and her there. But she said, oh, it's Sarah from room 1, and just wanted to let you know that me and my boyfriend, and we're going to call her boyfriend, let's call him, we'll call him Keene. We'll call him Keene. So she said, oh, me and my boyfriend Keene are going out for drinks, and there was, we'll call it, it's like a Weatherspoons, just a bit up from where we stayed, because we were in the town centre, so it was literally like a 5-minute walk, and you was there, and it was next to town. So yeah, she'd put on the note, oh, me and Keene are going out for drinks, and we wondered if you wanted to join us, which was nice, because I remember initially when she said hi, it felt really awkward, but I think that's just because she's an awkward person and she was quite shy, and you know, so that was nice to see that note, and she'd even put a number on it. So I thought that's good. That way we can kind of get to know each other. If I ever need her or anything, then I've got her number to contact her on. So I saved that in my phone. And then from there, fast forward a bit, we went out the next day. It was like nighttime we went. So we went out, and that's where I met her boyfriend, Keene. And he was nice, he introduced himself. And then we went out. We had a really good time. It was really nice. Like, we broke the ice, we took some pictures, and we bought each other rounds and stuff. So yeah, it was nice that we kind of got to break the ice over a few drinks and get to know each other and whatever. So yeah. So because uni hadn't started yet, I went back home at the weekend to go stay at the weekend, because I thought, I'm not staying here when uni's not started yet. I'm probably spending money to get food in, because it just didn't make sense. I might as well go back home and spend time with my family while I can before uni has started, because once it has started, I'm going to mainly be there, you know, on my own. So it made sense to go home and to spend a bit more time, you know, and spend time with family. So I did that, and I stayed there for, I want to say about, I don't know, probably say a few days. I stayed at home, and then I came back. And then I think I must have chilled with Sarah for a bit, because me and Sarah, you know, we were good. So we chilled for a bit. We chill in the lounge area. We cook our meals together. We wouldn't share meals or anything. It'd be one of them where if we're both in the kitchen, we kind of keep each other company and be cooking meals together. And, you know, she asked me how it was nice. How was it going home? She didn't live too far away, so sometimes she'd nip back. And also, her boyfriend Keene lived in our accommodation too. So he was a few floors down further than us. So there'd be times where he'd just pop up, and that was quite normal, which I didn't see a problem with, because, you know, she's free to bring whoever she wants in, as long as he's not causing a problem and he's respectful to our area, then there's nothing wrong with that. So, and he was really nice. So sometimes he'd pop up, and he was a chef, so he would sometimes come up and cook meals for them too, which was nice. So yeah, fast forward a couple of days, it was a weekend. I want to say it was either Friday or Saturday, I can't remember, but I remember me and Sarah were chilling in the lounge area, and we were just sat there just chilling, and we heard thudding, like the door just opened. So we looked at each other like, did you hear that? Did you hear that? Yeah, we both heard that. So we both knew we wasn't being like going crazy. We both knew we just heard the door. So we kind of stared at the door. So let's say the door's there. We kind of stared at the door like this. And we were looking at the door, waiting for someone to walk in. And then when the person walked in, this was the girl that stayed in room number 5. So this was Emma. She walked in with her mom and her mom's partner, and we're like, oh, hiya. Now I'll describe Emma. Emma was slim built, long hair. Yeah, that's enough to describe her, really. I'm not going to give too much away, but that's the best to describe her. And she was quite quiet, like, hiya. You could tell she was quite nervous. I can imagine you walk in and there's 2 new roommates that have already come in and kind of already got to know each other for like a week, and then you come in and they're sat there already chilling, and you kind of got to wedge into this group. But we did make her feel very welcome. We were like, hiya, and we got on quite well. We clicked like instantly. She went in, she moved in. We kind of showed her the ropes of what to do. She went in her room, she got settled, and then she came into the lounge area with us, and we kind of got to know each other. And we were saying about how we'd exchange numbers, and that how if she'd want to do that she could, so we could be in contact with each other if we needed to be. And because we were getting on so well anyway, it didn't seem like much of a problem. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to say my flat number, but I'm going to completely change the number just so you don't have an idea of which flat it was, just for the purpose of this video. So we called the chat flat 26. Now obviously that wasn't the number, but I'm not going to use the actual number, but we called it flat 26, and then we added each other on our numbers, we added each other, and then Sarah made the group, and then Sarah added us all into it. So then if we needed to talk to each other, we could all just talk on that group, which was quite helpful. And then we just spent time just chilling before uni started. We spent time getting to know each other. Yeah, we just did that for a couple of weeks, getting to know each other really. And then fast forward, we get to, so I started uni on the Wednesday, but then we're going to go to the weekend. So a couple of days before, that was the weekend before. So that was like the weekend, and then you had uni. For example, like you go to uni on a Monday. So we had the weekend. So that was like our last like weekend before uni officially started. So me, Sarah, and Emma were chilling in the lounge area, and we heard a thud because we'd been saying about how there was 2 rooms left, room 3 and room 4. So we knew there were going to be 2 rooms left, and we wondered when these flatmates were going to move in. And as time went on, we realised that it's probably they're going to move in like this weekend because uni is about to start. So we hear a thud at the door, at the main door, and that door is like a fire door. So as soon as it opens, it springs shut, and it used to make a loud bang. So you knew someone just walked through that door. We heard talking and communicating, and then we were just waiting for the 2 girls to walk in. So next minute, the 2 girls walk in, and they've got stuff. You can tell these 2 girls already know each other. So for the purpose of this video, we're going to call them, I've already told you the names anyway, we're going to call them Olivia and Becky. Olivia's in room 3 and Becky's in room 4. So they walk in and we're like, oh, hiya, you alright? Yeah, thanks, you. They walk in and then they walk right back out. So we were like, okay, they've just moved in. Like, we're going to give them some time to settle in. You know, they've just got in. They've probably got loads of things to move in and whatever. So we let them do whatever they were doing. We stayed in the lounge area where we were already. So we were chilling. And then next minute, we were kind of looking at each other like, I wonder if they're going to come back in. You know, are they going to come back in? Are they going to talk to us? Are they going to kind of break the ice with us? And we didn't come in for a while. Now, I just kind of was saying to both of them, they're probably just, you know, settling in. You know, just give them a bit of time. If they don't come back in, they don't come back in. We're in here doing what we were doing already, so it doesn't matter. So I don't think they came back in for a while. Eventually we did come back in, and we were just saying, oh, hi, what's your name, how you doing, all of that. I could tell that Becky was a very loud girl. I could just tell from the get-go, but she was very loud. I don't know what it was, but me, Emma, and Sarah realised that there was just something really off about Becky, room number 4 girl. We just realised that there was just something off about her, and I don't know, we just had this vibe that she just wasn't nice and that she was going to be a problem, and yeah, we just didn't feel right about her. So plus I didn't know them very well either. So Olivia, she seemed okay, but she was very timid and very quiet. Now personally, I feel like because she was more timid and quiet and Becky was more loud and outgoing, and not really mindful of others, it meant that without Olivia really meaning it to happen like that, she ended up kind of being the leader of like their friendship, and Olivia would just be in the back seat, kind of just doing whatever Becky was doing. Not saying that Becky told her what to do, but it was clear who was more the outrageous one in the group and the more the leader, and the one that more took a back seat and was happy to let, Becky do what she did. Now I've noticed that this video is probably going to be very long, so I'm going to do a part 2. So like if you enjoyed the story so far, and comment, subscribe, and I will see you in part 2. Bye.